Hello, my name's Catherine, welcome back to my studio. I've been down to the beach, I've taken the photo, I've drawn it out. This is changed into a grayscale. I've got my Hake 1.5 inch Holbein, I'm ready to go. So if you want to do some quick, easy painting, follow along with me today, that'd be lovely. So I've got my board a little bit tilted because I want the paint to run. But I have drawn it out, I hope you can see that. So I'm going to leave that area white for the time being because that's where the cloud is. And I'm just going to bring some water down there. Good. Okay, so I've got a Cobalt Blue light red mixture for the sky. So you just very lightly wash this in. I want it darker here than here, so I've put a little bit more water with my mixture, and I'll just bring a little bit in down here. And you can see it just spreads and settles and does its own thing, which is what I want. Don't want that hard edge. Pull a bit down. Could just lift a little bit out here as well while it's still wet. Get some dry tissue. Just to put a little bit of texture in. Dry those edges. Right. So now I'm going to take the same Hake brush. I didn't rinse it out, I put a little bit more water on it. I've got some raw Sienna, and we're just going to lay this in. This is the water's edge. It's all quite wet, that's fine. Just pick that up at the bottom. Because it all moves down, you don't want to get it pooling too much at the bottom here. Okay, now we're going to do some of the sea, and I'm going to use a little bit of cerulean blue mixed with whatever's on my palette here. So basically all the colours will talk to each other. They've all got something in common. They've all got a little bit of each other in them. Slightly heavier wash for here. A little bit of wave going on here. A bit of dry brushing here. Right, a little bit more of the Cobalt Blue. This might move, so I'm just going to touch it in. Yep, it has moved. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe that off. Wipe that off. I think I'm going to dry this all now, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, that's dried nicely. I'm going to now darken up some areas. We'll go back to this distant headland. So I'll get some Cobalt Blue and a bit of burnt umber this time, I think. Just a tiny bit. Make a weak wash of that. So I'm just going to lay in this distant hill. And as we move towards the right, I'm going to use less paint. I'm going to put a bit of a tree here. Okay. I'm picking up a bit of cerulean blue. Just gently wiping this in along here. Not the best brush. Go back to the Hake, I think. So I want to put a little bit more. This is a wave that's breaking, so I actually want to do more of a wave sort of swell shape. And then this one is going off that way. And we'll have a little bit of... You only need the lightest of touches and the palest of washes. We don't want... We're sort of going for the light coming off the water. So it sort of has a bit of a rhythm here. And it's washing up the beach here so we can draw in some shapes of as the swell comes up the beach. Great, okay. So now I think this sky part needs a little bit of definition, so I'm going to take my Cobalt Blue, light red mix, and I'm going to just lay it in here and try and gradate it. Now I want this to be the most paint, so if I sort of bobble some paint on there and just let it sit, when that dries that'll be much darker. So I'll take some water out of my brush, actually thin it. I took some paint as well out of my brush. Wipe it off a bit and just ever so gently. Again, you want the lightest of touches. And we want to we're just talking about light gossamer clouds. A little bit of dry brushing for the clouds on the horizon. Barely anything on the brush at all now, as it moves up into the cloud. And if you use the edge of the Hake, you can get some quite good sort of textural, a little bit darker here definition, you can get some quite textural brush marks going on. It is a good idea to play with your brushes. Okay, so we've got a darker wash here moving over into a lighter wash, and we've got some lovely textural feeling of clouds, which is what I wanted. So we're going to leave that to dry now. Just going to wipe that off. Okay, so now next we want to do the foreground, and the beach is slightly on an angle. So if I bring in some burnt sienna, I want a light wash, so I don't want too much paint. I don't know if you can see that when I just wipe, if I pick this paint up and then I wipe it on the edge, see how much runs back in. So that's you're getting rid of some of the water, so that, oops. So we're going to use angled strokes because this beach is running, it's quite a steep beach in fact. So we want to give that feeling of the steep beach. And then I've dried my brush off again, just to push it up into here. Oh, good grief, how can that... Anything can happen. There we are, not a problem. Gotta love watercolour painting on camera. What I was trying to do was get here to just bleed that edge off and bleed these edges off. I need to get some more raw sienna. Surprising how much paint you go through. So now I want a little bit of raw sienna to run into that, and we still want to angle it. Right, so I just want to dry this because well, she says perhaps we'll have a go. Just want to mask this off. I don't want any more jolly things in the sky, do I? It might be a little bit too wet, but we have got some dry areas. Maybe I can get a little bit of splatter into the dry areas. So where it's wet it will diffuse, and where it's dry it won't. Bring that down a bit. I don't quite want that in the sea. What I'll probably do is I'll have to come back and dry this. I'm not sure I want that there, but I can lift him out a little bit. I'll leave that there. Okay, I'm going to dry this and come back. Okay, I've dried this now and it needs a little bit of definition, so I'm going to start with the wave in the foreground. A little bit of cerulean and cobalt blue, and I just wanted to make this a little bit more defined. put a little bit of umber into the wash, burnt umber, just on that edge. I think this has got too hard. I'm going to take that out a bit, come back in. Maybe with a grey. I'm just having a look at it. I think I need to bring in some white here. So I'm going to reach for my gouache, my white gouache, and I'm going to just try this. See if I can, and I might just, it's a fan brush. That's quite nice. That's nice. So we'll do a little bit of that here. So you're just laying in a little bit of white gouache, and with a dry fan brush. See how that makes waves? Oh, I like that. That's pleased me. And then a little bit of see if I can just soften that a little. There we are. Okay, so now we have a breaking wave, which I rather like. Okay, so here's the final picture, and I really like it. I think it worked out well. We've got a cloud. I darkened this area, so we've got a main cloud here. We've got some light on the water running along here. We've got a bit of a wave, a couple of waves here. We've got some splatter and some beach, and we've got a gradation, which is what I was after. So I hope you enjoyed that. I know these tend to run quite a long time, but if you're interested in watching them, then please like and subscribe and let me know in the comments. What else would you like to see me paint? So thank you very much, and see you next time.